In some circles today, if you want to stir up a controversy, just mention the word productivity. Productivity is one of the most misunderstood words in America today, yet it is fundamental to the American private enterprise system. It is the difference between this man, eking out the barest of livings on a farm in India, and this man, operating a modern wheat farm in Nebraska. It is the difference between this worker, relying on muscle power and sweat to build a road, and this man, using a huge earth mover. It's the difference between this woman, scrubbing each article of clothing by hand, and this woman, doing her family laundry in a modern washing machine. Between this worker and this. Between this one and this. Productivity is essentially getting a given job done in a shorter time. And in almost every instance today, this means with the help of modern tools. One of the first great advancements civilization made occurred when early man got smart enough to figure out that he could use a piece of stone or bone to help him cut, grind, bore, scrape. This simple tool made his job easier and more productive. It is no accident that many of the great steps in human development and progress are related to the improvement of tools. The Bronze Age appeared about 4500 BC, when copper and bronze replaced stone and bone as tools. With metal, tools could be resharpened, and so much more work could be accomplished. It was during this period that man domesticated animals, a development that also enabled him to do much more with less human energy. The next significant step in man's progress came with the Iron Age, about 1400 BC. Iron was a stronger and more versatile metal, permitting more complex tools to be developed. It was during this period that the Grecian and Roman empires began to flourish. The next major step forward was the Industrial Revolution, less than 200 years ago. It was then that men learned how to make tools powered by mechanical and electrical energy. Now, for the first time, mechanical power and machines could take much of the world's work off the backs of men and animals. The coming of the Industrial Revolution coincided with another important happening: the formation of the United States of America. The setting was just right: a system of living based on private enterprise and individual initiative. The people had the ambition and the motivation to produce, to improve their standard of living, and the new machines helped them do it on a scale never before dreamed possible. The combination of men and machines soon led to mass production, the factory system that made it possible for quality products to be produced in large quantity at considerably lower cost. Mass production meant more jobs for more people. And more jobs for more people meant more money to be spent on the lower cost products being mass produced. So the system actually perpetuated itself. As a result, the American people have come to enjoy one of the highest standards of living of any nation in the world. We have more because we produce more. It's as simple as that. To get an idea of how much more, consider that the production of goods and services per person on a worldwide basis varies from $110 per person per year in India to more than $6,000 in the United States. In fact, the industrial production of the United States is about half as much as all the rest of the world put together. That's an amazing fact when you consider that our country has less than 6% of the world's population and occupies less than 7% of the land. The reason this has happened can be summed up in one word: productivity. Productivity is the output of units per hour worked. It's important in our private enterprise system because of its relationship to the cost of manufacturing a product. Obviously, a worker who must work without modern tools cannot turn out as many units per hour as a worker who has the benefit of modern tools and technology. This worker can be paid more per hour worked and still have her product be priced competitively. The more units she produces, the more opportunity she has for increases in pay. For this reason, the prosperity of the individual goes up when productivity increases. Conversely, individual prosperity tends to diminish when productivity levels off. And here's why. When productivity goes down, then the unit price of goods produced goes up. When this happens to a company, its products may no longer be priced in line with its competitors. The company may find itself losing sales and in financial difficulty. The same thing happens to a nation. When its productivity goes down, the doors are open for products produced elsewhere at lower cost to enter the nation's marketplace. This is what happened in America in the past few years. Many products from abroad have become staples in the American marketplace, priced lower than those built here at home. They're also capturing foreign markets that were once open to products manufactured in the United States. This is normal in a free trade environment, and the consumer benefits from the lower prices. But at the same time, many businesses that have not been able to remain competitive have had to close. So many people have lost their jobs. A cheaper dollar has helped make our products lower priced for foreign customers, true. But the basic fact is, our rate of productivity has not kept pace with increases in wages. And until it does, we will not be able to function competitively in the world marketplace. Increased productivity can help make our economy strong again by lowering the unit cost of our products and making them more competitive. In the light of this, why then is productivity considered such an offensive word to some people? The only possible answer is misunderstanding. Some people seem to think increased productivity means harder work. Others seem to think productivity means doing a job for less pay. Still others think it means longer hours for the same amount of pay. All of these can reduce the cost of producing a given unit of work, but this is not the way that mankind has traditionally increased productivity. It has been the use of tools and technology on the job that has enabled man to produce more in a given time frame at lower unit cost. Traditionally, tools have made jobs easier, not harder. So it's surprising that there are those who actually resist the application of new tools. The truth is, they fear that tools will actually replace them on the job, put them out of work. They forget, however, that historically, tools have always created new and more jobs. They've made it possible to produce more goods at a price that people can afford, and that increases demand. Tools are the only way more products can be produced in a given time frame without making people work harder or longer. More and better tools are the way this nation is going to increase its productivity, and the statistics prove it. Since 1900, the work output in horsepower of American factories has increased 460%. At the same time, factory workers have increased their productivity over 500%. So, as the output of our tools has increased, our productivity has increased at just about the same rate. It stands to reason that increasing productivity further can be achieved by a greater increase in the work output of our tools. But we have a problem. Many of America's tools are too old to keep us competitive in the world of the 1970s and 80s. Other industrialized countries have gotten the jump on us in the past 25 years. When you combine their modern tools with workers who are paid less than Americans producing comparable products, it is no wonder their unit cost of production is much less than ours. Catching up to them, taking leadership again without cutting wages, requires a major investment in the modernization of our tools of production. Investment in tools and technology is how we achieved our outstanding prosperity in the first place. Much of this investment must go into research and development into new and more efficient tools, ideas and concepts barely dreamed of today. It was this kind of research and development that made the computer possible and has opened up an entire new era of human progress and development. We need new tools in the construction field, new methods for gaining access to the Earth's resources and construction facilities needed to serve a growing nation, power shovels, earth-moving equipment, cranes, steel, concrete. We need tools for manufacturing, machine tools to build the tools of production, heavy presses, dies, material handling equipment, assembly line machinery, control mechanisms. We need new methods of transportation to help people get to and from work and places of recreation, to help manufacturers get raw materials to their factories, and to ship finished goods to market. We need even better methods of agriculture, tools to reduce the workload on the individual farmer and his work animals, better fertilizers and pesticides, improved irrigation, new farming techniques. We need improved communications, television, telephone, radio, mail service, to help businessmen conduct their business, learn what products and services people want, schedule production, arrange deliveries. We need better marketing and distribution tools to get the products people want to them as quickly and efficiently as possible. And above all, we need the money to acquire all these new tools. Money from the profits of American business, reinvested in research and development and plant modernization and new tooling. Money from banks, where the accumulated savings of depositors are deposited for investment or a loan to borrowers who want to put it to productive use. Money from the stock exchange, where people invest their money in business corporations in anticipation of that company's profit and growth. Money from these sources can be used effectively for tool improvement and business expansion, as it has throughout our history, so long as the government does not erect roadblocks to its use. Two areas of government legislation affect the ability of American business to modernize its tools: tax rates and depreciation allowances. Tax rates for business must permit companies to earn enough profit to afford to invest in tool modernization. Liberalized depreciation allowances must be provided to encourage investment in new tools and plant expansion. When government recognizes that business must be encouraged to take the steps necessary to increase productivity, then the nation's economy will be free once again to move ahead. But there is one more concern about the ability of America to move ahead economically. Those individuals who still think productivity is a four-letter word. They, and every American, must recognize that new tools are there to help them do a better job and do it with less physical effort. There is no reason to fear that machines will take over their jobs. This has not proven to be the case. In fact, just the opposite is true. When everyone uses the tools that business provides, then everyone will benefit. The individual himself on the job, and as a provider for himself and his family. It benefits his children now and when they reach the age when they must support themselves and begin to support their own families. It benefits his friends and neighbors by keeping the economy strong. And in that way, it benefits all Americans. Each generation dreams of being able to live the good life. Increased productivity is the promise that the dream will continue to come true.